Okay, wait a
Good
minute.
afternoon. My name is Irma Solis. And do any of you or your family members celebrate the Day of the Dead? Well, the Day of the Dead is a day that Mexicans, is usually this quote unquote a tradition in Mexico, and they believe that their ancestors or their like any loved one that passed away comes to Earth on November the 4th, and then they prepare this altar, which they put like different kind of things, like skulls, flowers, food, like paper, like colorful papers. In this speech, I will show. We'll talk about las calaveras and why the calaveras are important for the Day of the Dead. I would love to pass it around, but I feel like you guys might break it, and this calavera is very important to me. I was actually gonna bring a sugar skull because the sugar skulls are the ones that are mostly commonly found on the altars, but it broke.
Oh.
Yeah, my son threw it to the ground and it broke.
Oh.
So I couldn't bring it. This was actually a ritual for the Aztecs. They would actually use actual skulls, like human skulls, because they believed they had to praise their ancestors in order for them to have sun, water, and food. And when the Spaniards were trying to colonize Mexico, they saw the Aztecs practicing this ritual. They found it mocking, like as they were mocking death. So then they tried getting rid of it, but fortunately they were unsuccessful, because for the Aztecs, the afterlife was very important. And from this, the Spaniards try to cope with them and make their tradition, their ritual, something more appropriate. So then they made November the 1st the All Saints Day, and November the 2nd the All Souls Day, which is like today, November 2nd, celebrated for the Day of the Dead. In Mexico, they celebrate the Day of the Dead something more like, more animated, more fun, more like something that anyone can do, like without being grossed out with an actual real skull. They create altars. They put like hummus of flowers, sugar skulls like these, and usually on the altar, like according to the person, they will put the name of their dead loved one on the forehead. So when somebody goes to the cemetery and sees the altar, they'll know who does it belong to, and they would actually have pictures. It's the food that's actually on the altars. It's usually the favorite food. It's to believe it's the favorite food of the person. And according to Mary Jane Andrade, who wrote 3 books about this holiday, it's the relative or the person who put the altar eats the sugar skulls. I tasted them and they're kind of too sweet. So. How does this relate to my culture? Well, about 4 years ago, my grandfather passed away, and my dad went to Mexico, and when he came back, he told me that my grandmother had put an altar for him. And I asked him, what was that? Like, he calls them an ofrenda, that you put an ofrenda, which is like an offering to the person who passed away. And I asked him, what was that? And then he said that that's something that they do to honor their dead loved ones. And that's why in our class I made this goal for my grandfather, and it's like mostly personal because I didn't get to know my grandfather, and I drew a picture of my son because I would have loved him to meet my son. And this culture, I would actually love to practice this culture and let my family members like be part of it, because it's like a fun way to celebrate the death of someone instead of crying over them. In this speech, you have learned about how to celebrate the Day of the Dead and how this is part of my culture, the Mexican culture.